Welcome back to the game of the day. So it's mid-season, and what this means for those of you uninitiated, maybe a bit new to PvP, is that you can't currently, well, you can queue ranked, but the ranked rewards are disabled. The leaderboards are not currently active. We're waiting at the end of season 10 to season 11, where everyone sort of gets squished together again rating-wise, and you get to compete. Hopefully under new balance, which if you've been watching the Wood and Potatoes 2 channel quite a lot, you will have seen I've talked at great length about the balance that seems to be upcoming. But yeah, so with a new season, the new balance in mind, I'm thinking about what I want to play. You guys have been asking for some game of the day on other builds, and so I thought I'd show it to you. A lot of people really know me very significantly as an Ellie player, and specifically Fresh Air. Old people know me as that, even a lot of new people because of these videos. But really, that's not the be-all and end-all of what I've played. And in fact, Season 9, which is the season before 10 where the game of the day was going on, I was actually playing a lot of Mirage. It was a condition damage Mirage at the time. It's not my first time playing Mesmer. I really enjoy Mesmer, and so I want to try this build out. I think that there are nerfs hitting this, but they're not that substantial, and maybe you'll see lots of game of the day on this. It was never my plan to stop doing these videos during mid-season. It's just I've been a bit lost as to what I really enjoy. So I've just picked up a new variety of Mirage. I built what made sense to me. I knew I wanted to have staff for phase retreat because there's lots of fun things you can do with that. I knew I wanted a portal. I knew that I wanted it to be a sword Mirage so I could get super speed for cool jumps and things, and I knew I wanted a leap. So after that, the build kind of just lent itself to me. I verified some stuff on Meta Battle, and so yeah, this is a power sword Mirage. Note that is not a great sword shatter build. I'm not going for shatters, I'm not going for spikes, I'm going for a little bit more of a well-rounded approach. I am a skirmisher. It's basically a more rounded out version of the Fresh Air Ellie that you guys were watching in previous games of the day. This is actually obscene speed, and so I want to demonstrate this build to you guys. I believe that on a build like this, you can justify your own existence in any team without even being good at fighting. So I'm new to this build, I'm not particularly good at it whatsoever. But I will justify my existence just because I can rotate. I have crazy mobility. It's actually a wickedly overpowered build in my opinion. It has way too much sustain in team fights and 1v1s for how fast it is. Way too much. But that's looking how it will go for Season 11. So, yeah, let's jump on in. This is going to be a Coliseum game, and I think there's some really fun things that will come from this. So, yeah, we're just starting off. Oh, God, there's 50 seconds left on the countdown. So, yeah, what you guys are going to watch is, if we do several videos on this build, you might learn more as we go. But a key cooldown to pay attention to is this one here. It's called Blink. It moves me really fast. Whenever I dodge and use my auto, I have a leap that moves me really fast. My elite, I can spam, which is short-range blinks. And I have a bit of mobility on the staff as well. And then portals. So if you guys don't know what portal is, it establishes an entry and an exit point at any two places I want on the map. They have a max range. So you can't go from, like, close to far, but you can go from mid to close or from mid to far or whatever, right? I got those the wrong way around. But you get my drift, right? So, portal's extremely powerful, and I'm going to show you, I actually think we're going to win this game because of my rotations. And I think we're going to win this game despite the fact that their players are better fighters than my players. And I'll just show you how strong this is. There's some really fun little plays that we'll get. So, yeah, enough preamble. Sorry about all the talking as we go into it. I just want you guys to understand sort of the playstyle. But yeah, it's a skirmisher as before. So similar playstyle to what we were looking at originally. I don't know if I even checked for matchups and stuff. This was just, I think this was the second game I've played today. And I've really not done many on this build at all. So here, look, I'm even turning my audio on, which I will have had off before. All right, so at the start, I actually think I make a bit of a bad play here. You'll notice we have our Hollow going to close. Now, I don't know, maybe he's a very side-nodey Hollow. Maybe he's running the anti-corrosion plating and all the protection stuff. But, generally, I'd be really good at close because I can get to close quickly, I can port it, I can get into the mid really quickly. I'm okay at team fights, as you'll see, and I can sort of sustain and put cleave, and I can contribute a lot to down states because I can stomp very easily, and I can cleave and interrupt reses and stuff quite well. But, by ripping stab and interrupting. But, generally speaking, I think I'd rather the Hollow here, really. If the Hollow was going to mid, I think it would have been a bit better. And at the end of the day, I'm so fast, I'd be at the mid fight too, and we'd push 5v4 very quick. So anyway, so, at this point, I'm sort of thinking, should I have done that? I'm looking across. Now, my plan is not settled right now. I'm the first one coming forwards. And as you all know, there's no reason to zerg onto the node immediately. I'm not a firebrand or something, right? I'm not, you know, even if I was, it wouldn't even be that important, right? But I'm just watching. So I don't know what I want to do right now. I don't know. I want to see who's coming to fight this. But also I want to see who is on close. On enemy far, sorry. Their close point. Far, right? I want to see who's over here. So I'm not committing to this necessarily right now. I'm just seeing who it is. And I see it's a Mesmer. So here's the funny thing. You can be, because of Portal... You can be... Oh, we made our thing a lot bigger there. Let's make it small again. Because Portal exists, you can be really ballsy and aggressive and rotate into really dumb stuff, but it's kind of okay a lot of the time. And so I see it's a mirror. I don't know my matchups right now. So by that, I mean I don't know who I can 1v1. I don't know what players I can 1v1. I don't know what builds I can 1v1. I don't know what my sustain is like. I don't know what my offense is like because I'm new to the build. But I know that I have this amazing overpowered thing here called Portal. So, I make an idea here, right? So, I see that it's the Mesmer. I hesitate because I'm like, I don't want to take a mirror. And then I think, actually, a mirror's fine. I can be ballsy. So, I go for this, right? And now I'm going as fast as I can because I've given him loads of time to cap the node. If he fully caps that and then I go to 1v1 him, it's terrible. But if I can get on the node before he fully caps it, it's okay because it's neutral and I'm denying them points, right? Even if the 1v1 doesn't go very well for me, I'm at least denying them points by being there. But because of my hesitation and my slowness, my lethargy, I've got to get there quick. So I have to blow endurance and a blink to get in. But remember, we're a lot sustainier than the fresh early. So I get in, you'll notice fairly, 2 ticks before the full cap? And we start taking the 1v1. So this is pretty good. I'm denying them points. Our Hollow is unaggressed. So he's going to be fine, and then when he rotates in, it's going to be a 4v4 and a 1v1. All I need is my team to not die and take too much pressure before the Hollow gets in. And then it's an even matchup, right? Except we're getting points and they're not because I held this newt and we got ours free cap, right? So this would be a great play if my team doesn't die, and guess what? They're still all on 100% health, so it's looking all right now. And so I take this 1v1 with the Mesmer over here. And I'm not really sure what I'm looking for at this point. I'm not really, you know, I'm just using some of my abilities and seeing how it feels. He gets an emob on me. I now dart off of the node because we scored some decap worth because of, I think, his distort or something I saw. So I move off the node to sustain. And then he hits me really hard. So he uses his sword 5 on me. And he, like, proper hammers me. He really hurts me here. So, all of a sudden, yeah, he's on crazy high health. I'm on none. He's a better Mesmer than me, right? He's actually running a totally different build, to be fair. So, oh, is he running a different build? I don't know. Anyway, listen, he's a better Mesmer than me, and he's annihilated me in this 1v1. So, for any other build in the history of Guild Wars 2, what I've just done is terrible. I've pushed a 1v1 at spawn on far, and I've been absolutely slapped about silly. But, remember my hesitation before, I'm willing to go into this anyway, because we have this beautiful thing called Portal. So I fail my 1v1, they still didn't get any nodes, any points just yet, but he's going to full cap. I have to flee now, obviously dying is never a good idea, so we take the flee, but because we have Portal, as I flee out, I come behind the pillar. I would have thought I'd be fleeing already. Maybe I still think I can take it. As I flee out, I drop the portal. Slightly off node, so that he can't hopefully recognize that I've dropped it. I mean, you've got a chance, right? I drop my portal and I leave. So what this means is at any moment now, I can do this. So I bail out of a losing 1v1 that I'm really struggling in, and I flee into the mid-fight. So now, if I can get to the mid-fight, that Mesmer's stuck recapping the node. Look, he's still not even stood on it. My enemy, Mesmer, he has to walk all the way over there, full cap it, and then trundle into mid. So all this time that I'm in mid before him, we massively outnumber them, and hopefully we can win this fight. Now, you'll notice that my team is wiping. I put extra pressure on them because I went far, and they had to wait for the NG to even numbers, right? I put extra pressure on them, but they haven't done very well in this mid-fight. But because of all of this has happened, because I've been pushed out and I didn't actually score a victory over here, I really need to now swing the mid, okay? So I bail out of a losing 1v1, and through the power of Portal, I come to mid. And you notice, we've got a low enemy, and we've got a guy that's down already. This guy goes down. We have a rally race. We instantly lose the rally race, and he respawns. This was my kill here with my swordsman. As you can see, he gets the last hit on that to try and take him down. If we hadn't lost that rally race so fast, I could have covered myself with tons of stability and dodges and things while stomping, because I'm a Mirage. And we could have won that rally race, in theory. But obviously I came in a bit late. But nonetheless, because we get in here, we score a kill, they insta-rally, we score the kill again. There's another kill there. And so it's an extremely volatile mid-fight. So this is a perfect situation, really, for me to have come back in, right? You want to rotate in. If you're going to swing a mid-fight by pushing it and outnumbering it, you want it to be in a volatile state, which is kind of what this is, right? So I get really hit hard again. I'm punished because obviously I'm still even bailing out of my 1v1 there. I stand here at this corner to line of sight, make sure that, like, this soul beast can't hit me and whatever. I notice he's not there. I put a chaos storm on top of myself to give myself Aegis, is what I'm hoping for. It hasn't randomly procced, but there you go, there's Aegis. Then we heal and we get another chaos storm on ourselves, which blocks the enemy chaos storm. So now this chaos storm is the enemy mesmer's now finally moved up, right? He's capped it and he's coming in on me, okay? So because this chaos storm is here, this tells me something. The enemy mesmer that captured his far, where I have the portal, is no longer at far. He's in the mid-fight. So there's lots of low targets here. We push this. I assuredly, I really do believe that through our pressure here, through being in this fight, we win this mid-fight for that. We get the stomp. We're super low. We cover our stomp with, like, evades and stability and stuff. Whenever I shatter, I get stability. So we help to swing this mid-fight into a more favorable position. Instead of a slam dunk loss, because we bailed out of our 1v1 and we did this, it's now a much better mid-fight for us. And the second I do that, while the mid-fight is still in progress, I portal and punish that mesmer, the enemy mesmer. I go for the D cap, and instead of waiting for the full cap and then a slow trundle back down, I know that this fight is in still progress. So in the middle, I go back through the same portal, and look at this, volatile. They need me here. If any of these moments I can come back in, this would have been lost, right? But because I came back twice now, we can swing, we can cover pressure with our big damage over these bodies, and we've just wiped them. And we've won the mid-fight. Everyone is up. And now, as soon as this flips, right, look at this. We have double cap. They have nothing. And we're all alive, and few of them are. So, through that little just messing about on fire a bit there, having the portal saving me from a terrible play and being a bad player and losing a 1v1, I turned losing a 1v1 into a decap and a 1 mid-fight. That's basically what I'm saying, just because of portal there, which is one of the things that makes this build really fun. So here we win. Obviously they're in respawn. We move for the intercept. You want to catch a scourge on the roads. This is no different, right, like to when I was playing Fresh Air early. Our method and strength of pressure may be very different, but that's the idea. Their warrior's crossing as well. I see that my warrior's chasing him, so there's going to be a warrior 1v1 on my close point very soon. We keep pushing the scourge. The Soul Beast has respawned. I'm still okay with this intercept. If I'm holding 2 of them on the intercept here, I'm alright with this. The Hollow, my allied Hollow, is in the area as well. We know we can get this kill. Our Reaper pushes up. Our Hollow, I think, quite intelligently pulls back round, and he's watching for the mid node. So Warrior 1v1, since we own it, we can know that that Warrior 1v1 isn't going to end for a really long time. And so we can wait for a while before we go for that plus. And the entire time that it's not ending, we own the node. So that's okay. I'm pretty happy to play here aggressively in this territory like this. It's just mid. Any kind of newt on mid I wouldn't like. So our Hollow now decides to plus the Warrior 1v1 a lot earlier than I think he needed to, but whatever. We've got the Scourge down on the road, so he can't do anything. Actually, he's a Reaper, I think. I think this guy's a Reaper. Necro, whatever. It doesn't matter whether you're a Necro or a Reaper or a Scourge. At the end of the day, you're going to get hounded on the roads. And because of the very early plus that our Hollow goes for, we do get neuted here by the Mesmer, which I don't like. I'm immediately watching for that, and I come in. I'm not going to let him full cap us. This is not the same Mesmer as before. So we take a burst on him, and he utterly gets destroyed, which is great. And so now, obviously, this guy's here, so I can let him take that. Our portal is back up, and we're thinking, where do we want to use it? We could port mid, but I want to aggressively port, right? I prefer aggressively porting, because you don't need good reaction times for that. So I'm thinking of going to far, but now I see the other Mesmer comes in, and because we just scored a kill, what this means is, in theory, let's pretend my Necro isn't dead right now. If we score a kill, that means we outnumber them on the map for the next 15 to 20 seconds, right? So me taking this plus, it's not really a plus because they're staggered. This is actually taking advantage, snowballing out a kill right now. It's not really a plus in a way. But, I mean, our Scourge is dead anyway, so it's a 4v4, and now I'm choosing to plus this, so it is a plus, really. But anyway. So, yeah, I take this, and we got to get this kill quickly. I know this guy hit me really hard before, so I know that he has the capacity to die quickly. But again, I'm not too sure of my pressure and stuff, so whether this is smart or not, I don't know. We're close to full capping the node, which I think I noticed in the time, but he gets on. This is turning into a mid-fight now. And you'll see here how we can sustain bigger mid-fight. So here, I use my Phantasmal Swordman to do big pressure over the body in the res. Then I use my Ambush to interrupt the body and people resing. You see all those interrupts that flashed up? And I'm going to have more interrupts with my F3 in a second. So this is one of the ways that this can actually contribute a lot more in mid-fights. There you go, I popped the F3 there. So here's the Scourge Elite comes down. And so here, what do? I get low. The mid-fight is in progress. I drop a portal in the middle of the mid-fight. Just after we've had a small victory in the mid-fight, I drop a portal in the middle. And to peel out, to resustain, to get the out-of-combat health boost, I run for far immediately. And I've got the portal. So I go for far because we're going to do another cheeky nuke. We're going to nuke them instantly. There I go for a phase retreat forwards. And so this guy, the Soul Beast, saw me. And he had the intelligence to come here. But because we're so fast at moving around the map, he can't even help it, right? So I take the nuke and then I come back through the portal. And now what I've done here is I've removed the Soul Beast from the game. I've removed him from this mid-fight and we can outnumber the mid-fight again. And they're not getting any points in the meantime. So that's the idea of the play. However, if we rewind, you will notice very slyly. Good on the Soul Beast here. I've rewound far too far. The video file I'm doing Game of the Day on today here for you all is actually like 3 games back to back. And this is just the last one. So the slightest little movements on the tracking bar are flicking us like quite heavily. So we'll rewatch this little bit here. We take the pressure over the body. You see all the interrupts. We get our first little victory. I get really low because the Soul Beast is shooting me. I portal. I blink out. We dodge to sustain ourselves. We jaunt forwards. We phase retreat towards the nodes. If I hadn't done that so inelegantly, we would have got this. So watch now. The Soul Beast comes in. The nuke is about to happen in like... I mean, I've paused here, so the time is messed up. But you guys got to understand. The nuke is so close. I actually think I've got it. Also, I'm super low, so I have to get out quickly. You notice I don't have Blood Frenzy. I don't really have evades. I've got heal skill, but if he interrupts and stuff, he's just swapped to his greatsword. This guy could actually kill me. I could chain a block with the 4, but like, it's scary. So I want to get out as soon as possible. If I'd actually been standing slightly to the side of the node here, by the way, his Greatsword 3 would have tracked to me here, and I could have baited the newt anyway. But I think I've actually got the newt, and I make a mistake. As I come back out, you'll notice the UI here, and especially obviously look on the minimap, it's still their node. It's blue. So if I got the newt, it would have been amazing. It was not quite that amazing, but we've at least eliminated a player from the mid-fight, right? If you remember, what was actually going on earlier, before I made this play and I rotated off, we just had a Soul Beast shooting at us, and then he followed us and kept shooting us. So, it's like there's no... If I'd stayed around and not used the portal cooldown, it's sort of the same thing would have been happening anyway. What I've done here, at least, is I've eliminated him from the game, right? So, we can pressure other people as a team now. So, anyway, he's got a choice now, this dude. Because I never actually decapped it, he could charge back to mid and swing this mid for his team and try and, like, make up for lost time here. Or he could try and full cap it because he's scared of an instant nuke later. I don't know what he's going to do. But for me now, again, I don't have focus. I look low, but none of them are going to be looking at me. And I'm thinking about this fight. I do know what I do here. So the Ranger could now just zerg mid because he knows he needs it. Look at how low his allies are getting. He knows he needs to get it. My guys are low as well. It's volatile. Like I said, I don't think our team is actually sustaining the fights too well. And yes, I put a bit more pressure on them by flitting in and out of the fight. But, you know, once your cooldowns are up, your cooldowns are up. You may as well cover the gaps of your cooldowns being up with mobility and things, right? So anyway, I think that the Ranger's going to charge in. Or I take the gamble. If he's charged in, I can still get the instant nuke very quickly by dipping into the portal again, newting, and then coming back again. So that's what I go for here. And if he's a smart Soul Beast, he will have stayed. So I come in just to check. He is still standing here. He's been fully recapping it. He saw that I was doing this. So unfortunately, I can't get that. But I knew that that was a possibility at the time. And then I blinked back through again. So we see us go in and out of this portal several times. And now we just know 100%. All right, we take the mid-fight. We take the mid-fight. We helped to win this rally race. Actually, I don't even think I contributed to winning that rally race. But the positioning was correct such that we could have if we were needed. We see that we take a turnaround to see that the Soul Beast from that node is now finally coming back in. We get no lucky crits whatsoever. You'll notice mechanically, like skill-wise, I'm like kind of terrible. I'm not really even doing that much here. But so, yeah, by doing this though, we've actually won the mid-fight. We still have close. And we're about to get this, so we have double cap again. So there's no reason for me to charge balls to the wall into that Soul Beast there. We've just won the mid-fight. They have no momentum. They've got respawns. We're rotting these bodies even as well. They die off node. We take the risk of rotting them mid-team fight, and it succeeds. So they've got super long respawns, and we can just sort of play relaxed and easy. Also, there's no point in me going for this 1v1 or whatever. I mean, there's a little bit of point, but they're just going to respawn on top of me. And because I just used Portal's on cooldown, so I can't be ballsy while it's on cooldown, right? So we just chill for a bit. I guess I go to look because there's nothing else to do. The other thing to do would have been going for sword. But Christ, I mean, to have a game where I don't go for sword would be nice. I guess they abandoned it completely. Did I see that they abandoned this? For some reason, I feel like I knew that the guy had ran off in another direction. For some reason, I feel like I knew he'd abandoned it. Well, so anyway, I take the Newt. I don't care about full cap because there's respawning allies and my portal isn't cooldown. I mean, I could have gone for it and had the confidence for a full cap, but I don't have any confidence right now. I don't have any confidence in that 1v1. I might just get pressured off and lose it instantly. So whatever. By the time I lost the 1v1, I might have had port back, but whatever. So here I see on the nodes that this guy's down, and I've been racing to try and get to it. I can't. Here I know that I can take the Soul Beast because he's low, he's on cooldown. He hasn't particularly impressed me in terms of like the 1v1 potential and stuff. I mean, it's a Soul Beast build, right? So I'm pretty sure I can take this. I can defend this node as well. If this was like an aggressive play, if I was trying to take his node, I don't know whether I would have agreed with this, but like to defend the node is fine. I had a choice as he ran off to port my close node. I decided not to go for it. And here, by the way, you'll see a mid-fight has exploded after they've respawned. A mid-fight I contributed nothing to, right? Like, I tried to save a Soul Beast, but I was, my allied Necromancer, but I was too late. And so I haven't contributed to this mid-fight whatsoever, and they've been completely destroyed. Without us, you remember all those other volatile mid-fights? We've just about swung them. Without me, they've been annihilated. So here, this Soul Beast actually kind of does a good thing here, really, because he kind of eliminated 2 of us. He killed 1 of us, and he just trolled me and kited me around the map. So kind of a bad play from me, really, there, because what he's done is he's 2v1'd in a way that's caused my team to wipe instantly. So I peel out of that, and I see that there's a enemy Scourge on the road. Yeah, he's not a Reaper, he's a Scourge. So you will actually finally see I do some actual damage here. So this is how this build works. This is a 1v1 right now. I know you can't quite see because of all my clones and stuff. But yeah, we absolutely destroy him, like, instantly. We go for the Stomp. I covered it with Stab. The enemy Mesmer basically wombo combos me in the same way as I wombo comboed the Necro. And he breaks through my stability as well because he probably used an ambush followed by F3. So the ambush rips my stab, the F3 gets me. Or, you know, the F3 has multiple packets of days anyway because he could have had clones. So, yeah, I died there. Bad play from me. I should have just cut it away. I should have cleaved the body from range. There was no need to go for that stomp. We respawn. And by the way, so you'll see that I make a couple of mistakes in the past, like, what, 15, 20 seconds? I chased this guy around, and then I allowed myself to die after jumping one of them on the roads. And my team's done nothing. They've actually done so badly, we were 3-capped, I think, temporarily. And everything's lost everywhere now. So, without those, like, strong portal plays being made, you notice a little bit into this game now, I haven't really used portal. Without those strong portal plays being made, the whole game is falling apart, right? So, at this point, I'm very much aware of that. And what I want to do is I want to win this 1v1, and I want to put myself in a position where I can use Portal aggressively and in a fun way again. Here we're just sort of... I don't even really know what I'm doing with the fights right now because, to be honest, I don't know, like, the best combos. I know the best way to, like, emote people into the Swordsman. So, Soul Beast notices that he's getting plussed by my respawning Engineer ally, so he peels out. I'm fine with them pushing that on the roads. I'll assist him in a second. Somebody has to take the full cap. I'll be the one to do it. He goes down. I enjoy the fact that my clone is still doing that. Here, again, I make a decision not to port close. I don't particularly want to be backnoding with this. So, the reason, I'll explain why I don't like doing this, right? It's not that it's a bad play, it's that I'm not a good enough player. If you do a port on a node you own, okay, a full capped port node, if you do that, that's like a defensive portal, and you need good reaction times for that. What you need to do, if I then go fighting in mid, if somebody sneaky comes back towards the camera and then starts decapping, I need the reaction times to be able to fight in mid and be watching the minimap like a hawk. So the second I see those crossed swords appear on the minimap over the node, I need to port in and keep it contested. And then I have to win a 1v1 without getting neutered, ideally, while I've already been in a mid-fight and my cooldowns are blown and stuff. Like, it's not actually that easy. It depends on the various metas and things, how capable metas have been able to do that. But, like, it's kind of frustrating. So that's a defensive port, and that puts a lot of pressure on you. A lot more stress than if you do an aggressive port. If I instead just go to far, newt it, and drop a portal, I get way more time to port back in and hold it newt. And the victory is it being newt. The victory really otherwise is, you know, having it. So I just prefer doing it aggressively, really. You get more time to react and, I don't know, you can play around with it more. Also, you can just let people full cap and then they'll probably zerg off and then you can turn it around. I don't know, I'm probably going a bit deep with this. But anyway, yeah, so I decided not to go for the defensive port for the reasons I just articulated. Here I see that the enemy Mesmer pushes up onto the roads and my guys are healthy, so I don't really care about taking that fight. I use our crazy mobility. Like, and again, you guys should... all this pausing, you might not get a good perspective for it, but we have so much mobility. So here as well, I've made a decision. If we were to rewind, I won't rewind, but if we were to rewind just as I respawned a second ago back over at my base over there, they had like 3 cap, right? And they were rapidly starting to come back. I basically have made a decision that I just want to wipe the board. I just want to put everything neutral again. I want a fresh state, right? So what I've done here is I've full capped my close. I've ran to mid, neuted mids. I'm not going to go for a full cap at mid there. They're going to see that I'm doing that anyway. That fight nearby on the roads that I just jumped past, that will just come towards the node, and it's going to be new. It's like a waste of my time. And then eventually I'll be pushed off, and they might, you know, reduce the value that I got in that. So, I take the portal. I see that, you know, well, I guess maybe I could have gone back and helped that fight. I don't know. I don't know which is the right play. But instead of helping this guy res or whatever, I take the newt for the mids. I drop a portal on the mids. And our job now is to sweep the map. Again, because we're just this fast. We have this much mobility. I actually think this is the game-winning play here, by the way. Or one of several game-winning plays. So, we ambush forward. We jaunt forwards. We were aware, by the way, I was watching very close. You see my cursor here. We just killed this ranger, remember? Remember the 1v1 sort of thing? Well, it wasn't a 1v1, but the hollow pushed up and killed on the road. We knew he was respawning, so the idea is to race across the map and nuke everything before he can get to this node. Turns out on respawn, he's not even trying to come here, which I think is questionable as hell, but whatever. So he's running off, and I'm really happy to see this. And again, so now I've got a choice. I can port back into mid, or I can take full cap. I go for full cap because then we would sort... Well, he's neuting there. I go for the full cap here, I think, because I know that they're, like, winning the fights, so there's not likely to be a respawn coming in. If that guy wandered off, then who else is on respawn, right? Maybe it's that. Maybe it's because I hope that they can sustain that fight for a bit, and the dream is to get the full cap here, then port in, and that's actually what I end up doing in the end. So we're already being back capped, by the way. This could have played so differently if I'd done the defensive portal and taken the fight on the road and stuff. But yeah, so I take full cap this time. Probably because I'm not anticipating respawns, and I know I've got a tether into mid. So here, we don't have the cap fully recaptured, and I port quite early. The reason I'm doing this is because I can see that they're under a lot of pressure. Not the downstate guy I don't care much about, but the rev is low and the necro is low. I'm porting early here because if they're... And I see that there's an enemy player that's down as well, by the way, right? I'm doing this early just in case they see the portal and they could use this to flee to me. This is like... I'm doing this selflessly. I know I'm going to go through the portal as well afterwards, but I'm doing this as early as possible to give them the time to bail. Because if that's going so far south that we won't be able to redeem it, at least I can get them out, and then we can reinforce this node when they all zerg back through, and we will have broken combat and stuff. So that's why I do this portal really quite early. Nobody comes through. I jump in, and it's another volatile state. So, and just case in point, by the way, if you look at this allied Scourge I've got here, and especially if we rewind ever so slightly, you'll see that he has ample opportunity to flee and save his own life by going through my portal that I opened. But most players, unfortunately, aren't smart enough or good enough to even look for portals, and he doesn't, and he dies here. But case in point. Again, like you've seen, it's happened, what, 3 times this game, where the speed of being able to port around has saved and swung a mid-fight. I mean, look at all this crazy pressure, right? Right at the last second, okay? Like, these mid-fights would not have gone the way that you're seeing them go if we didn't have this. So I sustain a res here to make sure that there's no nasty rallies or anything that happened. I suppose I could have gone to the race and rallied first. I see that this guy's immediately crossing. We climb onto him. We don't really care about the node itself because there's a 1v1 in progress there, a sustaining 1v1. Here I'm actually scared, so I'm staying in the Chaos Storm, I'm chaining blocks, I'm line of sighting with a pillar. He gets a really annoying point-blank shot right around the pillar there, which I think is, like, super gross. But whatever, we kite around the pillar, still in the Chaos Storm. Look at all these boons we give ourselves. The builder's overpowered. We chain evades and stuff, and now he's all out, and he's even outnumbered, right? So we can take this. Warrior's holding the mid node, which I'm pretty happy with. I'm going to pause a lot less now because I believe with that, there we get that meaty 6k disenchanter. I don't think there's really too much, like, more meticulously to describe here. We secure the 1v1 fully. It looked like this guy had it anyway, but you never know with the warrior. Sometimes they can sustain well enough off the node. So we take this. We port close this time. Here I actually think I'm confused. I think I'm at their spawn. Straight up, I think this is far at the moment. I don't know when I got turned around, but I thought I was watching for respawns to intercept because we have the map now. But it was my close. I was like, oh, it's close. So here, finally, we go for sword. So this is probably, of all the Game of the Day swords, This is the best sword you've seen, like the most unquestionably best. We've just swept the map. We've just got a trip cap. They're on respawn and staggered. Everyone is alive and healthy to get the benefit of the sword for the next mid-fight. I have the mobility to get up. There is nothing wrong with this sword play here. We're trolling on their far point perfectly well. We take the sword. Everybody gets it. So, yay. There you go. You'll notice also, by the way, I used... why am I forgetting the name of that? Jaunt, our elite. I used the Jaunt to blink up. Here we see that the warrior's crossing. Sorry, you might not have saw that because I was talking about Jaunt. But the warrior's crossing, so I port in to just intercept him immediately. Here now I'm annoyed that I've ported and I've got this. This guy's come and we have a pre-casted Lich Form Necro coming in. Obscene. So I'm like, what is this? This is insane. And just as I notice it, I've phase retreated off the portal. So I can't even port back through, and I'm pretty furious here. You'll notice this green tick. This was me. I did this. So I'm like, well, why would you abandon mid? That's insane. Like, come on. I mean, our win condition is just to hold this, to be honest with you. It doesn't really matter. But I figure, whatever. I'll go defend mid. And I apparently toggled walk on at some point as well. I don't know when I did that. And yeah, I just go casually walk up to mids. Because all we need is this 2-cap. The guy died in the end. The NG died, but great trolling on far. He held how many of them? Like 4 of us. This engineer, right? Let's just be clear about what an MVP the engineer was here. This engineer held basically all of their teams, such that we had the luxury to 4v1 on close. Well, sort of. Actually, the Rev was up there as well. This Rev's on respawn. We didn't 4v1 close. But anyway, so we just hold mid. We know that people are going to aggress us, but in 10 seconds the game is won. And yeah, there you go. That's a little bit of playing with Portal. That's how you can push silly things. That's how Portal can save your life and become, you know, something that will swing things. And yeah, I really, with this game, I just kind of like the opening. Like, if we go back and we watch the very opening here. Whoop, 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 whoop. We're in a 1v1. Like, just watch how this goes. We're in a 1v1 here, right? That we absolutely get annihilated in. And purely because of this skill. Like, in theory, I could lose this 1v1. We could lose the mid-fight. And they've got double cap. They've got a really sturdy opening. They've got double cap and they can aggress us. And they've got like a perfect opening. And I should be super punished for that. In theory, that's how this is going. Look at how bad this is, right? Like, we're dying everywhere, right? Look at our team. Like, our team's health. This is obscene. And we've got nothing, really, to show for it. But because of this, we can help swing some kills. We can sustain near mid with an LOS. We can watch for when the enemy Mesmer comes in, which he's about to. Look at how low we are constantly. And by the way, like, all these attacks on me, that's attacks that aren't going on my allies, allowing them to sustain. We take a kill. We take a clutch stomp. Give a minor victory to a mid-fight that was going disastrously. Punish with a back cap. And swing straight back on in to actually fully win the mid-fight now. And at the end, we are in such a strong position here. Like, so, you know, this is the kind of stuff that you can do. This is a really fun build. And one of the reasons why, basically because Portal exists, like, Mesmer will always be one of the strongest skirmishers that will ever exist, just because of this. And this doesn't even think of our team-based potential with this, and the things that you can do with your allies, which maybe Games of the Day in the future will do, if we get a lot of intelligent people alongside us. But there you go, that's the mid-season break. I don't know whether this guaranteed will be the only build I'm playing. I guess we'll see. But there you have it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you very shortly. 80 to 26. Love it. And our guy gets on to sustain that while it's new, by the way, which is even crazier. All right.